I arrived at this tattoo studio and I wanted it so bad. I wanted this apprenticeship, this job. I wanted to learn to tattoo so bad, and I was so afraid of it. I remember my mom drove me to this studio and I was sitting in a car and I was telling her, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can do this. I had my portfolio with me, with my drawings, with my best drawings. And I was telling her how afraid I was, and there she was, and she said, no, just go. There's nothing you can lose. Just go. Just try it. So I took all my confidence and all my courage, and I went in. I met the owner, asked him with a very shaky voice. I asked him, I would really like to learn how to tattoo, and I wonder if you have a place that I could work here or be an apprentice. I could just clean the floors. I have my portfolio here if you would like to see it. He looks at me. Do you have any tattoos? And I'm like, no. And he goes, well, why do you think you can become a tattoo artist if you don't have any tattoos? You have to get a tattoo before you actually do tattoos. How do you really think that nurses in the hospital help mothers have children if they don't have children themselves? And I'm like, I don't know how that... Well, I studied art. I studied art for years, and I know how to draw, and I know I don't know how to tattoo, and I actually would like to have some tattoos, but my mom is kind of strict about these things, and she's still paying for my university, so and he just interrupted and like, no, you have to get tattoos. I'm sorry, no, no. I was broken, and I went back into the car, and I was like, Mom, he said no. It was hurtful, but somehow, it just gave me, honestly, just gave me more drive. I just wanted to, like, fucking prove him wrong. Like, really? You didn't even look at my portfolio because I don't have tattoos. It made me angry, and I just wanted to do it even more. I just wanted to succeed in this just to prove, even if not just to prove because I really wanted this, but oh my god, did that just fire me up even more. This was back in probably 2012 when I just began having this idea of wanting to become a tattoo artist. Many of you ask how I got this idea. Honestly, I didn't have any tattoos, like I said, even though I had some ideas here and there of getting tattoos, but my mom was really no tattoos. So I rebelled in other ways. I had dreadlocks. I went to this super cool tattoo studio and had piercings done. So many piercings I had by this super crazy, awesome, weird looking man with tattoos everywhere, and his eyes were even tattooed, and he was just super weird, but I loved it, and he was so nice. It was so crazy. So I would return to him every once in a while, and I told him about my work. I showed him my drawings, and one day he says, oh, have you ever thought about being a tattoo artist? You're really good at drawing. Many tattoo artists don't even know how to draw. I think you would be really good. And I was struggling with my painting course because I was realizing how hard it is to make money being a painter, being an artist, to reach people through art. And I never bought art myself, so I couldn't even imagine who's going to buy my art, who's going to invest, and how corrupt the whole art system was. It was just really killing me. So this new idea it was like a seed planted in me, and I started researching. I researched as much as I could. I read so many books. I bought all the books on tattooing I could. I went on different blogs. I started researching tattoo artists. I started to go to tattoo studios. I went to one tattoo studio back in south of Portugal. I walked in, also the same, before this first story. I went there and I asked him about if I could work for him, and he said yes, but I mean, I need drawings. So he gave me this kind of test. He told me, this client wants to have a biomechanical leg, so I want you to draw your best biomechanical work, and you give it to me, and if I like it, you're in. So I did my best. I didn't even know what biomechanical was. So I did my best, and I researched, and I did this drawing, and I came a few days later to him, and I showed it, and he really liked it, and he said, okay, you can draw for me. I don't have enough time to draw. I have a lot of tattoos, and so you can make some of like more simple drawings for me. But what I ended up doing was I was sitting at home, and he would send me emails, and he says, oh, I need a butterfly, oh, I need a fairy with a letter, I need a hero with a sword or something, and I would just draw, and I would never see him tattoo. And it was also very hard because he wouldn't give me any insights into who the person is, where on the body it's going, how big the tattoo is going to be, if he wants color, if he doesn't want color, what type of person that is, why they want that tattoo, and what style they want. I just had to make it up from zero. It was really hard, and it wasn't so exciting for me, so I stopped doing that, and he was paying me like a few 10 or 15 euros for the drawings. Then I went to this other studio, and I went to another studio, and they did not accept me. So those were basically all the studios in the south of Portugal. I went to a few more, and yeah. So I lost my hopes, and I saw how difficult it is for tattoo artists to get an apprenticeship, to start working. I'm pretty sure if you're a tattoo artist, or if you're starting a tattoo path, you probably know how hard it is to actually get into this whole industry, because many tattoo artists, especially before, they used to hold their knowledge very closely, and they were very afraid of giving that knowledge to just anybody, because they think they've worked so hard, and they did. They worked so hard to get there, to accumulate this knowledge, which now is so easy to get. So I believe there's a lot of kind of resentment and feelings of injustice, that now it's just so easy, and they had to work so hard, so they don't just want to give it away. So it's pretty hard to get into it. I then started researching for courses online. I looked for courses where they would teach me how to tattoo. I bought a kit, but I had no courage to actually switch the machine. I switched it on, but I tried to put the needle. I did everything they said, but I think I tried to tattoo on the fake skin, and the first line was so weird. Something was like the machine was sounding really weird, and I was like, no, I need somebody to show me. This is weird. I don't know. No. So I started looking for courses. I looked for many courses. There were some in the UK, some in Spain, and they were mostly just 2-day courses, and they were like 1,000, 2,000 euros or pounds, and I would have to bring a friend or somebody to tattoo on. And I just thought, whoa, it's like 2 days. Really I can learn how to tattoo in 2 days? I don't know, it doesn't seem like enough. So I researched more, and I found this school in the United States, in Louisiana. It was called World's Only Tattoo School. I think it still exists. And there it was a 2-week course, the longest course I've seen. And they promised that we would end the course having tattooed 6 people minimum. And I was like, yes, I want this. This is good. It's super expensive, but I just want this. And funnily enough, even though my mom was crazy against the idea of me having tattoos, she saw the value of me becoming a tattoo artist, because it's obvious that tattoo artists are earning money much more easily than painters. Sorry for my blah blah blah. So she actually paid me for the course, which I'm so grateful for. So grateful. I ended up going there, flying all the way to Louisiana on my own, doing this crazy course in the middle of like Texas something with these Americans, and we learned all the hygiene, which was really important, how to set up the machine, how to clean everything. And on the second week, people started coming in and people started asking for tattoos. So we actually began tattooing people very quickly. We practiced on some watermelons and we started tattooing people. And they knew that we were beginners, that we were just practicing. They just didn't really care. They just wanted a very cheap tattoo. So that's how it began. I actually ended up tattooing 11 people in this course. We were like, towards the end, we would finish class and then we would go to our dorms, we would set up and we would tattoo each other. I still didn't get any tattoo, but I tattooed a lot of the participants. And for me, I think it was quite easy to catch up because I drew so much. I had such experience with using my hand in so many ways, paintings, brushes, different pencils, charcoal, and I think this was just another way. It was so much different, but it was just another way. And my hand it was much more stable than most of other people who especially didn't know how to draw. So I came back and I started tattooing my friends, and that's how it all began. I dropped out of university eventually. I started charging for my tattoos here and there. I would tattoo once a week, twice a month, 4 times a month, and then guess what? I received an email from the man of that tattoo studio, which I went to, and he said that I couldn't tattoo without having any tattoos. He saw my tattoos on Facebook and he sent me an email saying, "Hey, I like your work, what you're doing. If you want to come by and work here sometime, would be cool." Yeah. So I did. I went to his studio and I got to know him and I got to work there. My first working experience. I started tattooing people. I started charging money. And you know what he said eventually when I asked him about it? He said that he wanted to test me. He said that he wanted to know if I really wanted it. And I think it was a really good test because I did want it and I did get it. So I want to tell you, if you are becoming a tattoo artist or an artist, or even if you're starting something new, it's always so scary in the beginning and we don't know anything, and everybody who is doing it seems to be so good at it and they have everything figured out and it's so easy for them, and for us just beginning, it's like a total mess usually. So I think that what really matters is to trust in that inner guidance that really wants us to go there, even if it's hard, because struggle is going to be there. It's going to be hard. It's going to be messy. There's going to be so much fear, so much insecurity, so much doubt, unless you really believe in yourself. But usually it's going to be hard in the beginning. And I think to succeed, you have to really want it. So I ask you, do you really want it? if you really want it, I'm sure you can get it. Because even somebody who doesn't know how to draw, I really believe this, that even if you don't know how to draw, if you really want it and you start today, you have all the possibilities of becoming the best tattoo artist in the world. If you don't want it and you are doing whatever you're doing, then I wonder why then you do whatever you do. Do you do it maybe because society taught you that this is the way, or that maybe your parents told you that you have to be this way, or maybe because you're just really good at this and you think you're never gonna be really good at anything else, so you just do this? Because if that's the way you go, I think it's gonna be much harder and much less fun, and it's just gonna be nah. So I want to leave with this today, a little bit of my background story, which I already told so many times to so many of my clients during the tattoo sessions, and now I would like to put it out there for anybody who's interested, and also remind you that struggle is part of the journey, and that I believe that it's really about trusting and following our heart, what it really burns for. Thank you for being here with me. I'm looking forward to share more of these videos about tattooing. Especially, I would really like to help new tattoo artists coming into the industry and give that support that I didn't feel I had when I began. Yeah.